not saying it's not, but what I'm saying now, it's messy. Now, I feel like the first port of call when these things happen, I don't understand why people's first instinct is to run to socials.
Do you know what it is? I think socials allows them a power that they don't get anywhere else, right? So like, I get what you mean, because I wouldn't do that, but I also understand why people do that, because it's like you have this instant platform that you can be like, here is what this person's doing. And so I understand the need, especially if some people have like reported it to the police or told his manager, and nothing's been done about it. And they're just like, I just need someone to believe me and someone to see that this thing is true. And also, making things like that public is outed men. Because that's happened to someone's been like, oh, he did this to me as well. This one, like, and you're just like, actually, this person's actually a monster in this thing. It's not just all like, oh, they were just angry or they're the mum. Because like, I hate that idea that like, oh, sorry, my dad used to hit my mum, so I didn't. Fuck off. Like, it's ridiculous to me. It makes no sense. So I get the need to be like
if you go to the feds though, let's say you go and you report it, right? And then you report it, it will break, innit? Because it's like a big artist, innit? So you report it.
To us.
No, but not to us, but I'm just saying, like, you go to the feds, you report it, it will soon break, but it breaks with the, you know, like, let's say he gets arrested and there's evidence to back up what's going on. It
like
breaks.
Whether he's been charged or not.
Yeah, like a charge or something. Like,
reach the level of
like it breaks the news.
A lot of time it doesn't.
Maybe not a lot of time it don't, but let's say like it breaks with that kind of, there's no room for like confusion.
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean? Because
no grey areas.
There's no grey areas because
like
the redaction, I can get it because sometimes there's like guys can bad up the girl to do something and now she's redacted it. So you know what I mean? But then even then you're gonna get trolled for that. Then on top of it, you come back out and say no, actually he did do that and did do this, and then you're gonna have people that are gonna question what your incentives now, and then you're gonna have people that are gonna actually back you, and then you're gonna have people that think you're lying. Do you get what I mean? So I just think if you just went to the police from the get-go, do that, then the police come, then you say what you're saying, it's all been reported to the feds and that, and then then it kind of gives you more of that stability that people can't come for you.
Trial by social media.
Yeah, but instead of, because we see it too often, innit, where people do lie and people do tell the truth but are not believed.
That leads me to what I was gonna get to now. What happened, because someone said this to me the other day, and they said, Pete, what about this? So I say, using unknown T for an example, but then more, the question the guy asked was, what happens if young Philly gets innocent? No, listen. Yeah. Turns out to be innocent, gets cleared, what happens? How are the people moving forward with him, and how are you going to deal with him? Say young Philly gets cleared. Young Philly gets cleared. All these accusations, he gets not guilty, walks out of court, crying, thank the Lord, I knew I didn't do anything, the girl made it up. This is not me saying it. Let's say that's the scenario.
Yeah.
How do people move forward with him? How will you feel about him as a people? What if he gets cleared? What happens then? How does he get on with his life? He's just been dragged. Say he didn't do this. He's been dragged through the court of public opinion and social media. How do you move?
He'll take him a couple of years and he'll be absolutely fine. Men who have actually done it have gone to jail for it and come out of it and be absolutely fine. I tell you, it'll take him a year or two. He'll put a video out. Like Australia, the real talk, whatever. He'll talk to camera. He'll cry a couple of times, and he'll be fine.
Yeah. And the thing with court is, like, for me to believe that, it would have to be pretty damning evidence that. You know, there was a false accusation or whatever, because I feel like that narrative is always spun when it comes to women's issues and, you know, abuse of women and stuff like that. So it would have to be pretty clear cut. I mean, I'm not invested in that part of like media anyway. Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying for you to be you need to be clear.
It has to be clear cut.
Not just not guilty. Not guilty is not enough.
Because people walk out of court all the time and they're guilty. So that for me is not strong enough. It would have to be proof that all the allegations were false. Do you know what I mean?
What's the guy, the American guy, Majors? What's his name?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. Like he got like acquitted, was it, or he got found, like it got taken that she was lying or something, innit?
Well, he was guilty for
found
guilty of hitting her.
For what I understand, what he was found guilty for was the fact of him running away or something, or pushing her away.
No, there was with him. There was some evidence of him actually putting hands on her.
There was evidence.
So
I can't use that as an example. Because I was gonna say, like, even after what he's gone through, like, now he's getting some roles back. Now he's starting to.
There were so many names in Hollywood who have assaulted women who have been and they're fine.
Like people that are paedophiles, all sorts of things.
Exactly.
Flourishing.
Unfortunately, it's just, and also with him, there are people right now being like, "Oh, the girl's a liar." They don't know anything about anything. They've probably never met the boy. But they're still like, no, it's not true. The girl's a liar, blah, 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 blah. And there's this consistent narrative that we're trying to bring black men down.
I just think it's harder for black men to kind of bounce back from these things.
Black men stop doing bullshit.
But what I mean is, what I'm trying to say is, I hear you, because not saying man, them ain't no fuckery. No, but
Can we get some...
No, let's go.
I'm not trying to say black men ain't no fuckery, and I'm not trying to victim nothing. But what I'm trying to say is that, like you said, in Hollywood, right? So you have a lot of actors. Look, Dana White slapped his wife the other day in a club. Dana White, the owner of UFC.
Okay, I don't even know.
Big camera, big on footage.
He's fine. I mean, that's like
don't hear nothing about it. Like, even if you go back now, you go back to some of these certain actors, like, you know, if we're talking back in the day, like the Beatles guy that's got that groomed the
Okay, I hear you.
So what I'm trying to say is, it's like,
I want some support for
these
black
people.
But why do you want support for bad behaviour?
No, not bad
behaviour.
behaviour.
Not for bad behaviour, but he hasn't been proven guilty.
Let me land. It's not bad behaviour. I'm not asking for support for bad behaviour, but what I'm trying to say is that even when, as black men, some of them get found not guilty or haven't done anything in the court of law and nothing's come of it, but they still remain cancelled, where I feel like...
Noel Clarke.
But you know what it is? That's got...
Noel Clarke is another one. We had him on the show.
Yeah.
Like, you know... There's nothing. He's never been arrested. He's never been arrested.
But dragged by public opinion and never got a job again.
He was found guilty in the eyes of the social media and whatever. I'm not saying that man might have been behaving himself in the best light, but he's never been able to recover when he's not actually been found guilty for anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't think that's got anything to do with black men versus white. That's just got everything to do with racism.
No, I don't put black men versus white together.
I'm not saying it's a versus thing.
No matter what the dynamic is, there's going to be racism. It's always going to rear its ugly head. So I think it's got everything to do with that regardless. But I think that, like, at the end of the day, I hear what you're saying in terms of the black and white thing. For me, all abusers, like, they should all go to hell as far as I'm concerned. I don't care whether you're black, whether you're white. I don't think... Oh, thanks, babe.
I agree
I don't care
wholeheartedly.
whether you're black, whether you're white. Everyone should be held accountable and should face justice if you've been if you've done something, you've been found guilty of 100%. Doing something. So I don't really separate it. To me, abusers are abusers. Like, is there a conversation to be had? Thanks, babe. Is there a conversation to be had about maybe the harshness or the intensity of how quickly we come down on black men, whereas other people are left to linger? Yeah, absolutely. But for me as a woman that could potentially be on the receiving end of that, I don't give a shit about any of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not interested in protecting abusers, whether they're black, whether they're... And I'm not saying you're saying that at all, Doug. And I get it. And I completely get what you're saying. Like, but because we live in a racist, patriarchal world, unfortunately, when these things do happen, black men will bear the brunt of it.
And also, black men know that. You know that punishment is going to be harder on you guys. You know that. So don't think that, like, this white director got away with it, so I'm going to do it. You know for a fact.
You think, man, them lose themselves in the...
You're not this white director.
Start to believe them look a little lighter than what
Exactly.
People get a bit...
And again, I'm not saying that, do it if you get away with it. Obviously, don't do the abuse, but like, don't be like, but then black men get harsher sentence. Such is the world.
I know what you're saying, because